in the country at 26 points per game. Explosive. He has to have a good game for Winnipeg to win tonight.
On the other side of the hardwood, we're going to be keeping a close eye at Paul Bryant, a close runner-up to Eric Bridgeland, who was last week's Husky Player of the Game.
A tough choice. He had 27 points in 2 games, both wins over Regina. He is really a key for Manitoba to pull off a win in this game because...
CKND Game of the Week will return in just a moment. Stay with us.
Portions of today's CKND Game of the Week telecast is brought to you in part by Husky Oil and its dealers throughout Western Canada.
In July 1989, a flame of hope was lit at Banting House, the birthplace of insulin, to burn until a cure for diabetes is found. Odds are 1 in 20 that you have or will develop diabetes, a disease that can lead to blindness, amputation, heart and kidney disease, and it can kill you. 1 in 20. You deserve better odds than that. Give to find a cure. Support the Canadian Diabetes Association.
Burtnick, the Big O, Vic Peters, Don Spriggs. Some of the big names you'll see in this year's Manitoba Labatt Tanker Championship, February 8th through the 11th at the Winnipeg Arena. 32 of this province's best curling teams will compete for a spot in the Brier. Special 4-day tankered passes are now on sale at your local curling clubs. Individual tickets can be purchased at select-a-seat locations. Plan on being in the house for the Labatt Tanker Championship.
Hey, Wendy, you know what goes best with a Wendy's old-fashioned quarter-pound single hamburger?
French fries and a cold drink.
That's right. It's a single combo, and it's just $2.79. I'm going to call it Dave's Delight.
Hey, how about we call it Wendy's Delight?
Dave's Delight.
Wendy's Delight.
Dave's Delight.
Wendy's
A
Delight.
quarter-pound hamburger, a regular-sized drink and fries, a super value for just $2.79.
Wendy's Delight.
No, Wendy. We're calling it Dave's Delight.
Yeah.
I got to get something around here named after me.
Another super value from Wendy's.
All right, let me see your card.
Sorry about the dog. He is real smart.
Can you wave goodbye?
Whose is he?
Ours.
You bought us a dog?
No, I probably won it in a card game.
What's his name?
Saddle up and head for paradise. Saturdays at 7 on CKND TV.
Welcome back to the Bison East Gym, everybody. We're glad you're tuning in to this afternoon's Game of the Week telecast. I'm Ron Kuipers along with the Rocket, Don Lamont. We're settled in and ready to go. Just a few moments away from the opening tip-off. Here's a look at the starting lineup as far as the Winnipeg Wesmen are concerned. Scott Anderson, second-year forward.
A key player, 6'6". He's got to score inside for Winnipeg.
And on the other side of the hardwood, for the Manitoba Bisons, another player to keep your eye on, a surprise starter, Keon Filowich.
And he was 9 for 10 last weekend. It certainly wasn't that hard a decision for Coach Rick Suffield of Manitoba to start him.
This ball game is underway. Bert Taves. Rebound underneath.
Bert Taves forcing one inside, throwing up an air ball, but great rebound that time by Larry Wandowich, who puts the ball back in.
Wandowich opens the scoring. 2-0 Wesmen on top. This is Filowich. He has the ball knocked out of his hands.
Both teams starting out very aggressive man-to-man defense. We talked to both coaches before the game, and they said they're going to have to contain the guards. That's the key. Bert Taves, as we mentioned up top, they got to contain him on the dribble drive to the middle. Same with Paul Bryant and Eric Bridgeland.
First half of this GPAC men's basketball game just underway. This is Greg Philman, one half of the Philman connection. Keon Filowich in the corner, back out. This is the rookie, Eric Bridgeland, our Husky Player of the Week last week. And he is fouled.
What a matchup. Two of the best guards in the country. Bert Taves is going to check Eric Bridgeland. And we talked about Eric's defense last weekend, and you see the little clutch and grab hold before, and that's the call. But Eric Bridgeland is also going to check Bert Taves because, again, of his excellent defense.
Philman to brother David Philman.
Great pass inside. Now that pass is a lot harder than it looks because you have to throw at just the right speed to allow the offensive player on the roll to get the ball and go up and score, which is exactly what happened.
Filowich ties the game at 2. This is Sabourin. Wandowich to Matheson. John Matheson. puts it back to Scott Anderson. Burke Taves, number 10, in red for the Wesmen. Wondowich dumps it off to Taves. He's being watched closely by Bridgeland. A shot for 3. Doesn't go.
Excellent defense that time by Eric. Did not commit the foul, went straight up, got a hand on the shooter. Burke Taves has got to learn not to force the shot. He'll get his 25 shots in this game, but he's got to have patience.
David Philman doesn't get the roll. The crowd trying to urge that ball through the hoop. Doesn't go. Burke Taves brings the ball down court for the Wesmen.
Smart play by Kean Filowich also not to pick a foul up on that rebound.
Matheson ripples the cords for 3.
You're going to give him 5 feet from the three-point line. He's going to take it. He's a good three-point shooter for the Wesmen.
Bridgeland. Taves all over him. And Bridgeland gives the ball away. Charles Sabourin to Taves. Tough rebounding, Scott Anderson.
And boy, the Wesmen really need that. That was Coach Bill Whitlick's major concern is the boards. He's got to do a good job on the defensive and offensive boards for the team to win.
His only other concern he told us about before the game, unforced errors. He has a young team. This is Paul Bear Bryant off the fingertips and through.
Last weekend we saw Paul Bryant allowed to go left. That time he went right and he still scored. When he does that, he's extremely tough to stop.
Wesmen by 3, 17-10 left to play in the opening half. John Matheson. Nowhere to go. Wondowich. He was looking for Taves.
Unforced turnover, just like you were talking about. But you see, both teams are so keyed up for this game that you're going to have a little bit of that early in the ball game. They'll settle down in the first 3 minutes. And that's where it helps. That's where Burke Taves has got to show a little discipline. And you see Greg Philman right now trying to set it up. See, what happens is both players have been reading their press clippings, Bridgeland and Taves, and they're forcing the ball a little bit.
Matheson, Sabourin, off the glass.
Tough move, and if Charles Sabourin gets that ball in that close, he's going to score because he does have a good touch inside.
9-4 Wesmen. Greg Philman looking for an opening. Good solid drive by Greg Philman.
And Charles Sabourin picks up the foul coming in from behind, looking for the block. And look at this control on the dribble drive. He sees, he waits, he gives a little head and shoulder fake, gets John Matheson to commit, and then Charles Sabourin reaches in and gets him down low with his leg from behind, and he's going to go. Greg Philman is going to go to the line. And it's interesting what Coach Suffield's done for the Bisons. He's put Eric Bridgeland basically on the wing, freed him up to score, and he wants Greg Philman to control the offense, and that's what Greg's major role is, and that's what he did all those years successfully at Oak Park High School for Randy Cassano.
Greg Philman, 100% on the year from the free throw line. He's 3 for 3. Burke Taves. Wondowich to Taves. Anderson back to Taves for 3.
And that's the shot he wants. He got a little bit of room on defense that time. He passed up 2 shots to get that shot, and that's what allowed him to score because he got a little bit of room.
Bridgeland comes right back with a three-pointer of his own.
That's called in your face. Right back. This is fun.
And it's Taves outside Anderson. Wondowich. No, rebound, Philman. Here comes Eric Bridgeland. Great matchup.
I don't think Burke's going to give him quite as much room this time.
Paul Bryant. David Keon Filowich rather is fouled.
And that's a big foul, Ron, because Scott Anderson picks up his second. Anderson plays the best inside defense of the Wesmen and is also their best threat to score inside. So that's a key second foul early in this contest.
As a result, Filowich at the line. Scott Anderson will take a breather. Nick Jansen into the ball game for the Wesmen. As you mentioned, Keon Filowich was 9 for 10 from the field last week against Regina.
And the only shot he missed was that dunk at the end of the game. And he's 1 for 1 today already. Not quite as successful from the foul line, though, Ron.
No, 12-9, the Wesmen lead. Wesmen are coached by Bill Wedlake. He's in his 5th year. Bisons by Rick Suffield, 6th-year coach.
Good ball movement by the Wesmen this time, and that's a key.
Taves moving inside. Tried the right-hand hook shot, didn't go. Rebound, Sabarin, no. David Philman comes down with the ball.
That's just too much adrenaline. Sabarin missed that shot because he had too much. The blood was pumping a little bit too hard.
Greg Philman is denied, and here come the Wesmen once again, led by Berg Taves. Nice pass by Mr. Berg Taves.
Yes, he did. He held the ball up, waited for the guys to fill the lane, and saw the open man inside.
14-9, Winnipeg Wesmen on top. This is Paul Bryant pulling up. No. Taves with the rebound. He is all over the court in the early stages of this game.
Great
Long
pass.
Yes.
Great pass. That is a lot harder than it looks because that was a two-hand wrist pass from one foul line to the other baseline. That showed incredible strength.
Coach Suffield calling a timeout. We'll take our first timeout. Stay with us. CKND Game of the Week will return right after this.
It's a thing called Husky Pride. It's a feeling deep inside.
At Husky, we take pride in serving you. That means we take the time to do things right. Wherever you drive, you'll find a friendly smile and peace of mind. That's the spirit of Husky Pride. We show it and you'll know it. At Husky, we're always ready to look after you.
Imagine, less than 2 hours from Winnipeg and Grand Forks, you will find a skier's dream. Holiday Mountain, now open 7 days a week with accommodations and facilities for the whole family. There's qualified ski instructors, a new 500-cent rental shop with Sullivan boots and bindings, snowmaking machines for powdered skiing, and a chairlift and 2 T-bars that'll whisk you to the top where 10 professionally groomed runs are waiting. Afterwards, there's après-ski or relax in your own chalet. Holiday Mountain, Highway 3, La Riviere, Manitoba.
The Winnipeg Wesmen lead by 7. Here's one of the reasons, Don.
And this is what I was talking about. Two-hand chest pass from the waist right on the money. He led John Matheson enough so John could be in full stride when he went in. Just a great pass.
John Matheson, 6 foot 6 inch forward. He's in his 3rd year as a member of the Winnipeg Wesmen.
Berg Taves does much more than just score for this team.
Bridgeland. Bilowich in the corner. Inside in the key. Foul called. The basket will not count.
And that foul was easy. Larry Wondovich has been doing a good job on Paul Bryant, forcing him to go right. That time he bumped him early and he picked up his foul.
13:54 is the time remaining in the opening half.
Wesmen zoned up out of bounds, and let's see if they stay that way.
Greg Philman reaching to keep that ball in play. Bridgeland looking for an opening. There's a little alley-oop. David Philman doing what he does best.
And I rarely ever see him shoot over 6 feet away from the basket, and that's where he's ever dangerous, inside.
Bisons trail by 5. Wesmen moving the ball around. This is Jeff Foreman, number 21, into the ball game for the Wesmen.
The 6'8" rookie from Windsor Park got away with one there, and referee Dave Murphy's going to call Winnipeg ball. He didn't stay in long as Charles Sabarin comes back into the game, Ron. It's going to be interesting to see if Winnipeg stays back into a zone. They started out man-to-man, but they played zone their last 2 times down the floor.
Ball rolls off the shoulder of Taves. Doesn't phase him one bit. Good, solid, quick drive to the hoop.
What impressed me on that drive was the body control not to commit the offensive foul. He does a little half hook, half finger roll. Just a great shot. So's that. Drop step. Dave Philman going up strong to the basket. Again, Coach Bill Wedlake for the Wesmen said that's another thing that scared him was their inside defense.
John Matheson for Taves. Moving in. Dumps it off underneath.
Body control.
Wondowich.
Body control, committed. Got both Manitoba players to commit to him on the middle and hit the open man.
The Wesmen have opened up a 7-point lead. Keon Filowich, number 44, in white. Bridgeland will have to hustle. Billman. Paul Bryant, 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Bryant to David Billman. No good. Some tough luck, some tough bounces for the Bisons. Burke Taves.
Checked out of bounds, and the last 15 points in this ball game have all been generated by Burke Taves, either with him scoring or dishing off to somebody on the wing or inside.
We're going to take a look at Burke Taves driving to the basket. We've already seen several of these plays.
This is a lot harder to do than it looks. He fades away so he does not get the offensive foul and dishes off inside to Larry Wondowich.
Garth Thompson, Mark Kalinowski, and Kevin Cleland are into the ball game for the Manitoba Bisons. So 3 of the starters are taking a breather.
And we got a foul. Again, Burke Taves was allowed to post up. Bison player reached in on defense, and Burke's going to go to the foul line to shoot a couple. That's good ball movement. One thing about Burke Taves, just when you think you got him stopped, he doesn't stand around and let you play defense on him. He continues to move, and get open, and that's why he's so dangerous.
Burke Taves is at the line. He was 67%. He is 67% from the line.
The GPAC average is 5 points below his season average. He's averaging 26 per game over the 23 games that the Wesmen have played.
He's 1 for 2, 21-13. Wesmen leading the Bisons. Garth Thompson back to Cleland. Thompson underneath. Keon Filowich.
It's kind of been interesting. The Bisons have gone inside early, and we haven't seen much from Eric Bridgeland in the last 5 minutes of this game. He's been pretty quiet.
A hook shot by Sabarin. Gets his own rebound. Good hustle by Chuck Sabarin.
Just a super offensive rebound. He follows his shot. That's extremely important, and puts it in.
Cleland for 3.
And that's a rarity. Kevin doesn't usually take that one from outside, and he's hurting a little bit. He missed practice Tuesday and Wednesday because of a wonky knee, and that's another reason that Keon Filowich started in this game today.
Burke Taves directing traffic. Wondowich. Back to Taves. Ron Lutzer, number 5 in the Wesmen. Top right of your screen into the ball game. Taves for 3. Off the rim, rebound, Wondowich. The basket will not count.
And it's a hold on the rebound. As we're looking at matchups right now, Manitoba has taken Eric Bridgeland off of Burke Taves and put another player on him, and to give Eric just a little bit of a rest defensively.
Bison head coach Rick Suffield, he was very impressed with the performance of his club last week. 2 straight victories over the Regina Cougars. I think it's safe to say that it was a bit of a surprise. I don't think they expected to take both games from the Cougars.
And there were 2 big wins, because if they were to win tonight, to start 3-0 in GPAC is pretty impressive.
Burke Taves at the 10:40 mark, 25-18 Wesmen. Long pass for Garth Thompson. Eric Bridgeland, or Keon Filowich rather.
Wow, what a strong move inside. I hope we get a chance to see it again, because what he did on offense allowed him to create the opportunity to get the 3-point play. He did a little fake drop step down low and then pivoted and came up strong to the middle. Let's see the pass. Good side and pass by Garth Thompson. He goes down low, almost loses the ball, and then gets the foul and the basket.
Jeff Foreman is into the ball game.
Sorry, Ron. He's tough to check, because when he did shoot that jump shot, it was back behind his head. Tough to get at.
Rebound, Jeff Foreman. Taves.
I think Coach Bill Willick for Winnipeg is concerned about the rebounding edge right now, and so he inserted the man from Windsor Park here. I shouldn't forget my fellow alma mater.
Jason Friesen, number 22.
For a little more rebounding strength.
Kalinowski to Filowich. Yes.
And Jeff Foreman, he's the guy, that's the name I was looking for from Windsor Park in his first year. He's got to do a little better job of getting in front of Keon Filowich and preventing that pass inside.
A lot of substitutions at this point of the ballgame. Burke Taves, home free.
That's just called miscommunication on defense. Burke Taves blows in for a layup.
Kalinowski bounce pass to Bridgeland. Bridgeland off the glass. Wesmen come down with the ball.
A little frustrated right now. Eric Bridgeland jumping in on the shot. Trying to force it a little bit. He hadn't handled the ball for a while, and it gets to be a little frustrating when you do finally get it. A lot of times, as a good offensive player, you try and force it.
Burke Taves
throws one away, and I've got Eric Bridgeland back checking Burke Taves. So far, Burke has been doing a better job the other way on Eric.
Solid drive to the hoop by number 22, Mark Kalinowski.
There was a little bit of contact there. I could hear the thud from here.
As far as point matchups are concerned, Taves with 10, Bridgeland with 3.
I really think they need to get Paul Bryant back in the game and get a little bit of scoring from the other guard position.
Ron Lutzer. Rebound, Bison's a little bit of trouble coming up with it. And here comes Bridgeland. Pass ahead to Keon Filowich. No, doesn't go.
Good idea, though. Good shot, good balance. He just couldn't get it to go on and off the glass.
It's 27-22. Wesmen leading. Jeff Foreman.
Just great intensity in this game, and there's another one of those unforced errors. However, Winnipeg is going to get lucky, and the ball was tipped out of bounds. At least that's the ruling, as Dave Philman comes back in the ball game.
Philman comes in for the Bisons. Filowich will take a breather. Burke Taves will take a breather as well. His first of the ball game for the Wesmen.
And I would think Coach Rick Suffield from the Bisons would like to see them get a little run right now while Burke Taves is sitting on the bench. Because so far it's been all Burke Taves for Winnipeg.
There's 8 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the opening half. Winnipeg Wesmen leading the Manitoba Bisons 27-22. I'm Ron Kuipers along with the Rocket, Don Lamont.
I hear we have to scramble for cash at halftime. What's this rumor?
Oh yeah, stick around, folks. One of the most exciting halftime shows in the history of sports. A mad dash for cash. I'll be going one-on-one with the Rocket.
Well, you're lucky you got me. I'm not quite 29 anymore, so you might have a little edge on me, Ron.
I'm not quite 29 either, Don.
Oh, you're kidding. You still look so young.
Got a few years to go still. That's coming up at the half as well. We'll take a look at the first half highlights of this GPAC men's basketball matchup. Three-pointer by number 22, Jason Friesen.
That was downtown. While we were talking about our dash for cash, Jeff Foreman missed 2 easy shots inside, and Winnipeg doing a good job on the offensive glass. Travel ball. Jan Kreitzer, the official, calls Eric Bridgeland for moving. And we see a little in your face that time. And Wes Krimbles, the other official, saw that. They're going to have a little conversation between Larry Wandowich from Winnipeg and Eric Bridgeland.
Well, Bridgeland wasn't too impressed with something that Wandowich either had to say or did. And as the two players went down court, Bridgeland was waving his fingers in the face of Wandowich. So temper's starting to rise just a little bit here at the Bison East Gym.
Oh, and you can expect that with this crosstown rivalry. Both teams desperately want to win.
Nice bounce pass by Clellan. Three-point attempt.
As it turns out, it couldn't be a better pass.
They'll take it.
I always claim on the score. I go to the statistician after the game when I play and say, yeah, that was a pass, no doubt about it. Those are the kind of ducks you have to take.
Ron Lutzer.
Tough hoop that time by the all high school out of Miles McDonnell. He's been scoring very well this year, percentage-wise, for Coach Bill Woodlake at Winnipeg, shooting over 50% from the floor.
Bisons trail 32-24. Unlucky for Mark Kalinowski. Good job by Cleland.
And we got a reach-in foul on Larry Wondowich, and that'll be his second foul.
There were 3 Westmen there, and from out of nowhere, Kevin Cleland ended up with the ball.
Boy, he's a banger. I like the way Kevin Cleland plays. He never quits. You can see he's grimacing a little bit. I think his knee's obviously hurting him, but he's not afraid to go in there and bang bodies.
6:49 remaining.
And he's an excellent free throw shooter. It's Mr. Cleland. He's shooting % from the charity stripe.
(32-25).
It's one of these games that really is tough to get a feel for pattern-wise because absolutely everything is happening out there. The only assured thing right now that is Bert Taves is tending to dominate the game on both ends of the floor.
Taves back in for the Westmen. Friesen. Jansen.
That defense that time by Kevin Cleland kind of reminded me of the St. Andrews Dave Mill defense. It's called put out the arm and you come to a dead stop. Well, I tell you what, it's pretty tough to get by when you put up a roadblock like that. The unfortunate part is that he got called for a foul.
No basket on the play. Cleland taking a breather. He picked up his 3rd foul on the play. Good solid basket for John Matheson.
And if you get a chance on the camera work here, if you watch away from the ball, it's getting very physical on the rebounding and the blocking out. Especially Dave Philman and Jeff Foreman inside.
Off the foot of the Westmen Bisons.
They're really going at it inside. Jeff Foreman, as I mentioned, the rookie from Windsor Park, is not backing down from Dave Philman, the 5-year veteran.
Bear Bryant. He'll dish it off. David Philman.
And he gets the roll, the basket, and the foul. And that time it was just pure and simple experience. What happens is you work so hard defensively. See what happened? Jeff Foreman's mistake is he did not deny the ball down low, allowed Philman to get it down within 5 feet of the basket, and as a result, a 3-point play.
We're going to take another timeout. 6:07 remaining to play in the opening half.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
I'm Tim.
I'm Diana.
And I'm Snake. A 1, 2, 3, 4.
We from the Grassy are hanging tight, coming to the paid for schmucky night.
January 20th, the arena door.
We'll all be there, and there's much, much more.
Bombers, the writers, the media crew.
All on hand.
But we need you. See ya, schmucky.
Hey, John Bonk.
Stanley, what are you doing here?
John, I'll tell you what, I'm warming up for the first annual Child Find Challenge. It's a ski-a-thon for the whole family.
No kidding,
It's
huh?
right here at the Windsor Park Golf Course, Sunday, January 28th. Register at 11, ski from 1 until 4.
Stan.
Lots of fun. Fresh
Stan,
here. Yeah, John.
guess what?
What's that?
I'm the honorary chairman.
Yeah, I knew that.
And you know, Stan, it's going to be a lot of fun. So join the winning effort and pick up your pledge sheet today. Remember, a missing child is everyone's responsibility.
Look at their whole offense centers around this guy getting the ball, okay, and looking for cutters. So force him baseline, cut him off there, and if he goes all the way, the center takes the charge and everybody rotates down. That's what we've got to do. You can't back off the shooter there. Freeze him. He's going to shoot. Okay? Right now, Mathis is driving to the hole, so forcing a baseline where we've got a bit of help. But we've got to play at that end right now and get a couple of boards right now. Come on, let's go. Come on. One, two, three.
Coach Rick Suffield for the Bisons telling his players to get on the boards, make the offensive players go to the baseline, cut them off. And, hey, I tell you what, it starts on defense, and they got to do that right now.
Our next telecast here on CKND Game of the Week, 1 week from today. Next Saturday at 1, it's GPAC Volleyball. We'll have a special edition for you. Men's and women's crosstown rivalry, the Westmen and the Bisons again. It's coming to you right here from the Bison East Gym.
I'm ready for you this week, Ron. When is the Super Bowl? I'm ready for that question.
Rumor has it, Don, that the Super Bowl will be played on a Sunday this year.
January the 28th.
28th.
All right. Hey, I'm listening to you this week, Ron.
That's a pleasant surprise. David Philman at the line. Wesmen come away with it. Burke Taves. He'll stop. Everybody gets into position. Matheson.
Winnipeg have their rebound offense, I call it in right now, with Burke Taves as the only guard and 4 wide bodies. Not the best of shots that time by Burke Taves. Excellent defense by Eric Bridgeland.
Bridgeland comes up with the ball. Greg Philman. Paul Bryant. He'll drive and gives it away. And here comes Burke Taves. The quick transition. He made a couple of quick moves.
And we got a foul down low. Wesmen doing a good job on the offensive boards, and John Matheson paid the price. It's like in hockey, getting in front of the net too long and they get cross-checked.
You just hit it right on the head, though. Yeah. The Bisons were nowhere to be found as far as the rebounding was concerned on that last set.
Well, everybody's trying to contain Burke Taves, and they're trying to get over and play defense, and when he misses his shot, the other Wesmen are doing a good job of following up and getting some offensive rebounds.
John Matheson is 1 for 1.
And he is an excellent free throw shooter. He rarely misses.
It's 35-27.
An 83% free throw shooter for the year, which is pretty impressive.
Bisons trail by 9 with just over 5 minutes left to go. Bison's moving the ball around, and it's off the fingertips of Keon Filowich.
And that was too bad, because that was an excellent pass by Bear Bryant that time inside to Keon Filowich. Down low, he had his man pinned on the zone, and it's just too bad it went through his fingertips. Coach Rick Suffolk for the Bisons going to 3 guards right now to try and get a little bit more movement on offense against the zone.
Taves taking his time, bringing the ball down court at his leisure. Dishes it off to Matheson. Nick Jansen looking for an opening. Back to Matheson. He's being watched by Greg Philman. Matheson stops, turns. Off to Jansen. Jansen moves up. No. And here come the Herd.
Bodies flying everywhere down low, but no call. Some real strong rebounding underneath.
Bryant right back to Philman. Filowich.
The Wesmen going with a 2-3 zone. At least I think that's what it is. It's keeps changing.
Good bucket by Bryant. He had some good hang time.
And that's the best way to break that zone, is to get the ball in the middle, and Paul did that. He gave a couple of ball fakes. The middle opened up for him, and he went in and stayed on balance and made an excellent move.
Nice touch by number 20, Nick Jansen.
Nick Jansen showing good balance, going baseline, coming back, getting square to the hoop and making a nice shot. That's what we got. Wesmen playing 2-3 zone right now. And there's Paul Bryant again right in the middle. And Eric Bridgeland doing a good job of getting 2 defenders to him and finding the open man.
It's the same kind of shot we saw Bryant have a lot of success with last week. He takes a couple steps forwards and then he just pulls up and rolls it off the fingertips. He has the last 4 points for the Manitoba Bisons. 38-31. The Wesmen leading.
Wesmen have a little bit of a size advantage right now, but the Bisons are doing a better job offensively, moving the ball around, and as a result, they're back within 7. I'm kind of surprised that Coach Wedlick has gone to a zone defense. They were playing some pretty good man-to-man.
Lutzer to Jansen.
And Mr. Jansen is starting to heat up. They're going to have to make sure they get on and check him.
And Suffield will make some more changes.
Probably just in that regard, just to get somebody out on checking Jansen.
Bridgeland to Bryant to Philman. Back to Bryant.
Blocked that time on Ron Lutzer. He wasn't there on defense. If we get a chance to see this again, Paul Bryant is very good at giving a head and shoulder fake like he's going to go right, and that's to set up his left hand. And that time, Ron Lutzer fell for it, and as a result, committed his foul.
2 minutes and 39 seconds is the time remaining.
The Bison's in the bonus situation. See, if we get a chance here, Paul gives a little head and shoulder fake going the other way, and then Ron Lutzer just doesn't get over in time.
As a result, Paul Bryant at the line.
That foul was on the mistake of being over-aggressive defensively. If you can't get your head and shoulders in front of the player, what you do is you step back and try and get a new lane to cut the offensive player off.
Paul Bryant still 100% at the line in this GPAC season. Third game of the early GPAC year for both clubs.
Nice pass that time by Bert Taves inside to John Matheson. John gave a little fake like he was going to rotate up, and then he cut down the lane in the middle, and Bert Taves was able to find it. Watch this. Good, tough defense. Bert battle backdoor, bounce pass in the middle, and a really tough shot. Keon Filowich picks up the foul because he wasn't quite there defensively.
Matheson with 11 first half points.
And the reason he does is because excellent movement away from the ball.
Eric Bridgeland to Mark Kalinowski. Return pass.
Wesmen stay in the zone.
Bridgeland will head all the way to the other side of the court and put it right back in our vicinity. This is Dan Brown. It's off his fingertips. He regains possession. Kalinowski.
Just a super pass inside. And that just made it over the fingertips of the Wesmen defender, Eric Bridgeland, inside to Nick Jansen. Jansen gets a chance for 2 shots. I should say the foul's on Jansen, and Filowich will go to the line. Is that a little better? That's better. So many bodies in there. Eric Bridgeland, you could see that time he was directing traffic. What you want to do against the zone is spread it out, so get the guys out wide on the wing, rotate the ball around, and then you can go inside with it. It's exactly what the Bisons did that time.
Hustle and Herd trail by 7. Taves will head to his left, being watched as usual by Eric Bridgeland. Matheson, Jansen, into Taves. Taves. The action is hot and heavy underneath the basket. And here come the Bisons. Bryant back to Kalinowski. Off to Bridgeland. Bridgeland will pull it up. Off the glass. Doesn't go. Dan Brown comes up with it for the Herd.
Good hustle right now by the Bisons. Keon Filowich picking the pocket down the other end.
No basket.
I think John Matheson is going to pick up a foul on this, and Paul Bryant will go to shoot the bonus. Bison's doing a good job on both ends of the glass right now. Paul Bryant and John Matheson obviously doesn't have anything ready defensively, reaches in and commits a foul. Paul Bryant going right again. Yeah. When I played, I was a left-hander too, Ron. And I remember Bruce Enzo used to coach at Winnipeg when he was coaching at Mennonite Brethren in high school days, before he went on to coach at the Wesmen in BC. He would coach me that I had to go right, and this was in my grade 11 year. And after I scored 8 points in one game because they denied me, and made me go right, I spent my whole summer learning how to go right, and made me a lot better basketball player, and allowed me to play university.
Like the good old days when they used to teach kids who were left-handed how to write with their right hand. They wouldn't let them write.
And that's what happened to me. It's kind of fascinating. At least that's the excuse I use.
44-37, the Wesmen on top of the Bisons with 1:17 left to play in the opening half. Kalinowski off to Bryant. Bryant denied this time around. So Bridgeland will regroup.
Bison showing good patience right now on offense.
This time Bryant gets the shot away and he makes it count.
And that's a good shot for him. Paul Bryant's pretty tough from that left baseline.
50 seconds left to go.
The Bisons are back within 5. This last 45 seconds is extremely critical.
Bryant with 12 first half points. Ron Lutzer moves it back out to Taves. Taves will drive. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Bert Taves with another 2 to add to his collection.
Bison coach Rick Suffield is shaking his head. How do you stop that? He had 4 Bisons around him. That is a tough shot.
19 seconds, 18 seconds left to play. It's 46-39. Bisons trail. They've trailed for pretty much the entire opening half of this ball game. But they're definitely still within reach.
Bisons that time had a little trouble on offense. They didn't get very good movement away from the ball, and as a result, a turnover.
There's just 2 seconds left on the clock, 46-39.
They're going to deny Bert Taves inside. They're going to try at least. No foul. Good play by Paul Bryant. Very smart play. Did not commit a foul. Excellent, excellent job.
And as a result, 1 half of this game is in the books. 46-39. Winnipeg over Manitoba. Stick around, our halftime show, including the Rocket and yours truly in the Mad Dash for Cash, coming up next.
I would never have believed it until one night I woke up around 3 o'clock in the morning. I felt something cold against my shoulder. It was the ceiling. I was looking down at my own body.
Doesn't make any sense to me. I wouldn't believe it for a second.
I don't know. I dreamt something once, and it came true the next day. Maybe there is something to it.
It's all just coincidence. That's what I think.
I was thinking of my childhood friend the other day. I hadn't thought of her for years. Then all of a sudden the phone rings, and it's her. You tell me that's coincidence?
There's a word for it, the paranormal, and it's one of the biggest issues of our age. Now, Time Life Books brings you Mysteries of the Unknown that looks into every area, from ESP to precognition to alien encounters, to give you all the sides.
I'm a scientist. I'm willing to be open-minded. But in my profession, we live by positive proof.
I still say it's mass hysteria.
My daughter didn't want to get on that school bus. I didn't know why. But something told me to take her seriously. I'm glad I did.
Even if just some of these things are real, do you know what that would mean?
Here in one place are the newly researched facts, first-person reports, and scientific experiments, so you can decide for yourself. There are so many hints of a world more remarkable than we ever imagined. If you've ever wondered about the unknown, examine your first volume for 10 days free and take a serious look at a world that can no longer be ignored.
I never thought I would believe in it until it happened to me.
To order your first book, Mystic Places, call 1-800-654-2900. Examine it for 10 days. Keep it and pay just $16.99 plus shipping and handling. Other books will follow, one about every other month. Keep only the ones you want. Cancel anytime. Call 1-800-654-2900.
Welcome back to the Bison East Gym, everybody. We're at the half. Winnipeg Wesmen leading the Manitoba Bisons 46-39. Now the moment you've all been waiting for. I know I couldn't wait to get to it.
Anytime you're ready.
Ron Kuipers, there I am on the right of your screen against Don the Rocket Lamont. It's the Dash for Cash. There's $101 bills. It's play money. I went for the broom, and as you can see, that was the most lame attempt at picking up cash in the history of the Dash for Cash program. Don Lamont with good style, good form, combined with the monkey walks, we managed to pick up $75. So on behalf of the Rocket, Don Lamont, and myself, and CKND, we donate $75 to the Variety Club of Manitoba. As you take a look at the Rocket, totally out of breath, we join you now back here at the Bison East Gym. Have you recovered?
Barely.
Have you recovered sufficiently enough to tell us about the first half of play?
Bert Taves, in one word.
In one word. All right. We're gonna take a break and come back and show you Bert Taves right after this. Stay with us.
From 1-800-COUNTRY, Dan Seals.
And the way you used to ride out everything that glitters.
is not gold.
The roots of his music run deep. His songs celebrate simple pleasures. Dan Seals.
Those big old wheels keep rolling through my mind.
Now experience the moods and emotions of Dan Seals at his finest on Portrait. 20 of Dan Seals' greatest hits.
Oh, I'd never let her know.
Available on deluxe double album, cassette, or compact disc. Not for sale in any store. Only from 1-800-COUNTRY. Dan Seals, Portrait. A timeless collection of Dan Seals classics. An exceptional value. To get yours, just dial 1-800-COUNTRY now.
Visa, MasterCard, COD charges. Call 1-800-COUNTRY. Or save COD charges by sending $14.98 for LPs or extended play cassette, or $19.98 for compact disc, plus $3.50 postage and handling to Portrait, P.O. Box 191, Station L, Winnipeg, Manitoba. That's Portrait, P.O. Box 191, Station L, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Call now. Operators are standing by. Remember, this offer could end without notice, so call 1-800-COUNTRY.
This is a protective bubble. But is it the future? Will we need protection somewhere down the road from the pollution we've caused around us? Will our soil be with us, be clean, be pure and available? Will our forests be sustainable? And will the water around us be pure? My name's Jim Hart. Join me for issues on the environment of special import to Western Canada on Eyes West Earthwatch.
Debuts Sunday, January 21st at 6:30 on CKND TV.
36-39 is our halftime score back here at the Bison East Gym. Paul Bryant and Burke Taves led all scorers in the opening half with 12 points each, but as you mentioned before we went to break, the highlight of the first half, one word, Burke Taves.
Well, if he wasn't scoring, he was creating opportunities. That's the beautiful thing about Burke Taves, that he creates opportunities, not only for himself, but for other players. And in that half, Larry Wandowich and John Matheson were on the receiving end of a couple of beautiful Burke Taves passes.
We're going to take a look at one of those passes right now, behind the head.
And here he comes, under control, loses the ball a little bit, and just see what he does here. He gets himself back under control, and look at that pass, beautiful, and that time to Charles Sabrin as he cuts to the hoop.
And the other highlight we have, courtesy of Burke Taves, is a long, long pass.
And he shows amazing strength, and he keeps a good court awareness. This is the one we talked about where he wrists it about 70 feet all the way to the other end of the floor to John Matheson.
All right, we're going to take a look at second half action here at the Bison East Gym. Second half just underway. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back and have that for you in just a moment. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila. You know, for years I've been helping people turn average homes into their dream houses, like Dave and Marianne Corbett. They love this place, but they can still see room for improvement.
That's right, Bob. You know, for one thing, the kitchen, it's too dark.
Maybe some track lighting would help.
Oh, that's an idea.
We're also thinking of putting new tiles in here.
Hey, that's a great idea. They'll stand up to all kinds of wear and tear. Most people don't realize how easy it is to transform a home and increase its value with a few simple projects. All it takes is a little imagination, a little hard work, and the right tools, including the Home Repair and Improvement series from Time Life Books. These books will help you with practically any home improvement job. From cutting new bathroom tiles, to laying them, to sealing the grout, clearly written step-by-step instructions and diagrams guide you through every phase of your project. Even if it's as involved as rewiring for new lighting or replacing a sink, these books can give you all the help you'll need. Well, Dave, I can see you guys have done a lot in the past couple of weeks.
That's right, Bob. I've added the new track lighting.
We even built this island.
The place looks terrific. You've done a great job. To order your first book, Kitchens and Bathrooms, just call this toll-free number for a free 15-day examination. Other books will follow, one about every other month, on the same free trial basis, like plumbing, adding on, and walls and ceilings. So what do you two have planned next?
Well, in the living room...
We're planning to turn one wall into an entertainment center.
Time Life's Home Repair and Improvement series can even help you with that. Remember, your home is your single biggest investment. With a little effort, a little imagination, and a little help from Time Life Books, you can make sure it keeps on growing in value.
To examine kitchens and bathrooms free for 15 days, call 1-800-228-3030. Keep it and pay just $14.99 plus shipping and handling. And when you do, you'll get this handy 12-foot Stanley tape measure free. So call 1-800-228-3030. That's 1-800-228-3030.
.46-41. Second half just underway. Wesmen leading by 5. There's a right-handed hook shot by Larry Wandowich. It's good for 2. 48-41 Wesmen.
And it's important the Bisons get some rhythm, get some easy baskets right off the hop in the second half. Really important. They want to get back within a couple points right off the hop here.
David Philman in a crowd. Doesn't go, but he draws the foul.
Charles Saverin trying to plead his case that time. Dave Philman so far hasn't been exactly accurate from the foul line.
We've played exactly 1 minute of the second half. I'm Ron Kuipers along with Don the Rocket Lamont. I think we've recovered. Have you recovered, Don?
Well, there's a couple beads of sweat on my forehead, but nothing too serious. The only thing I do suggest you not sit too close to me.
That's the hardest I've ever seen you work during a halftime. I've pulled just about every muscle in my body as a result. But I think we did okay. Well, $75 going to the Variety Club of Manitoba. Matheson coming down with the rebound. He'll bring the ball down court. Spins to his left. Dishes it off to Anderson. Burke Taves will put it up. Yes, no doubt about it.
Dave Philman picks himself up off the floor. Burke Taves that time using the glass from the side. And he's picking up right where he left off from the first half.
Paul Bryant. Eric Bridgeland for 3.
Incredibly accurate three-point shooter. He's 4 for 6 in the first 2 games in GPAC.
Not having as much luck today, however. In the meantime, Burke Taves is denied. Rebounding, Filowich.
Eric Bridgeland, though, he's going to make sure that he gets the ball in some other players' hands, and Paul Bryant throws up a tough shot as well. Right now, the Bison's a little out of sync. We didn't see much of Scott Anderson after the first 5 minutes, did we?
No,
when
we
he
didn't.
picked up 2 fouls. I still think he's a key Wesmen player.
Larry Wandowich, number 11. Bounce pass inside.
That time, Charles Saverin just calling and calling for the ball, and the pass wasn't coming. 3-second violation.
Thanks for tuning in this afternoon. You're watching CKND Game of the Week, and we're coming to you from the Bison East Gym. And just a reminder, tonight's a rematch between these two clubs, 8 o'clock at the Athletics Center, as the crosstown rivalry continues.
We have an excellent crowd in this game, and I'm sure it'll be another great crowd tonight at the University of Winnipeg. Some of the best players in the country, well worth coming out to watch.
Well, the Bisons trail by 9, 17-29 is the time remaining. Inbounds to Bridgeland. Bridgeland pulls it up. Here's a break for Scott Anderson. Bridgeland coming back down court.
And that's a good foul.
Good hustle by Eric Bridgeland.
Yeah, you bet. He hustles right back to the basket and denies the easy layup that time by Scott Anderson.
Eric Bridgeland isn't having the same kind of game he had last week. He was our Husky Oil player of the game, and he was very, very impressive in his season opener. He is a rookie.
A lot of that credit for the poor performance by Eric so far has to go to Burke Taves, who's doing an excellent job defensively. He's denying him the ball. He's not taking any fouls. He's just staying with him like glue.
I would suggest if there is an advantage in the matchup, it's just the difference in experience. Bridgeland, a rookie, Burke Taves in his 5th and final year as a member of the Wesmen. So that would be I would guess, a big advantage.
That's a factor, and it's a learning experience, this game, for Eric Bridgeland. He's a really smart kid, and he'll get it figured out.
There's the matchup. Good rebound by David Philman.
And he's going to get the 3.
Basket counts.
You can see referee Jan Kreitzer that time. indicating that the basket will count. And here we get a look at it. Dave Philman has got excellent position. He rolls around Charles Sabourin, gets inside for the rebound, spins back. Charles moves in on the arm and picks up his second foul of the second half.
David Philman is the only fifth-year player for the Manitoba Bisons, and he's playing with brother Greg for the first time in university basketball.
Greg played last year, but David was on a tour of Europe.
There's another no-look, quick over-the-head, semi-behind-the-back pass by Burke Taves.
Well, add a little bit of glamour to the game. Never hurts.
Burke Taves doesn't mind putting on a show, whether it's at home or away. Taves, bounce pass underneath. Again, some top rebounding. Chuck Sabourin couldn't get a hold of it.
Great hustle by Dave Philman. Got on the floor that time, knocked the ball loose, and Keon Filowich was able to track it down.
Check that. It was John Matheson digging for the loose ball in the bottom of the pile. And it's Matheson doing some good work on the defensive end. Here comes Burke Taves, number 10 in red. Taves behind the back, tripped up. Anderson misses everything.
And you have a little chant from the fans on the air ball.
Somebody didn't agree with the call.
And that's Kevin Clellan, who's got ticketed for another foul, loose ball foul on the rebound.
That's Clellan's fourth foul of this ball game. He's picked up a lot of fouls considering the fact that he didn't get into this ball game until 8 minutes into the opening half.
Well, I think Mr. Clellan is a little wrapped up on the physical aspect right now, and he's taking a couple fouls by being over-aggressive.
Taves will inbounds the ball. Anderson gets to it. Back to Wondowich. Taves. There's Chuck Sabourin. Rebound. Bisons come down with it.
Chuck Sabourin having a little trouble putting those ducks away. He's got to make that shot.
Mark Kalinowski, nice move. Puts it outside. Bridgeland will try one more time. Again, it doesn't go. Bridgeland looking very frustrated at this point of the ball game as well.
Well, that time he got a little bit of room to move on offensively because Burke Taves came in to help out in the drive that time. The pitch out back out to Eric Bridgeland. And as Burke Taves came out to try and check him defensively, he went around him and got an opportunity to go to the basket, and the foul was committed. And I believe Eric is going to go to the foul line to shoot a couple.
Lutzer and Foreman into the ball game for Wesmen head coach Bill Wedlake. Scott Anderson and Chuck Sabourin will sit down.
36 points in 2 games, 18 per game. That's 3 points below his season's average.
Well, Bridgeland misses his first free throw.
And that's a rarity.
Of this ball game, anyway. But it's a swish on his second attempt.
The Bison's going to a little full court 2-2-1 pressure. See if they can get a turnover. Dave Philman picks up a blocking foul, and no argument from Dave that time. Burke Taves is going to...
Paul Bryant led all scorers for the Bisons with 12. Why wouldn't he be playing at this point of the ball game?
I'm not sure. It's a good question, though.
Paul Bryant on the bench. We'll find out soon enough. We're approaching the 5-minute mark of this opening half, or of the second half. Bisons trail by 6. You can make it 9.
Burke Taves is in his range. That's 3 for Burke. Bison struggling a little bit offensively right now. Good pass inside. Eric Bridgeland to Dave Philman. That time Bridgeland had 2 defensive players come to him and he found the open man.
Well, Taves is getting things together. He's on a roll. He just came flying down the court like nobody's business and like nobody else was there.
And assistant coach Tony Scott is making the Bisons know that they better start playing some defense. He was upset after Burke Taves got that layup.
Nice hook shot by David Philman.
And he is extremely tough when he gets the ball in that close to the basket. He's keeping the Bisons in the game right now, Ron.
A veteran like Philman has to start taking control of this ball game, and at this point, the Bisons aren't out of it yet. They trail 56-49. But with left-handed hook shots like that by number 23, John Matheson, Could be a tough uphill climb for the Herd.
Well, as a referee, you don't mind this kind of a game right now because the ball is going in for both teams. And we're not having very many whistles, though you did have a carry ball or a travel that time called. Here's a look at John Matheson passing the ball inside to John Matheson. And boom, Larry Wandovich to John Matheson, pardon me. Nice little left-hand hook.
Garth Thompson getting ready to come into the ball game for Rick Suffield. Taves. Basket counts.
That time Bert Taves took Eric Bridgeland down low, posted up, got Eric Bridgeland to commit in the air and picked up the foul. Eric Bridgeland a little discouraged right now. We get a chance. Good pass assigned by John Matheson. That bounce pass. And you see Eric Bridgeland reaches in and Burke says, yeah, we got that one to go.
You know, one thing you pointed out, Bert Taves is in his 5th and final year, and he might be winning this battle, but after this season, that's it. He's done. Eric Bridgeland can look forward to 4 more years, and he's getting a good education tonight.
And Bert Taves has been around enough. He did a super job of posting down low that time. Goes outside twice, then gets the ball down low. And
Bridgeland.
And you got to remember that the Winnipeg offense is designed around Bert Taves.
Garth Thompson for 2. Bisons trail by 10 points. Taves stops on a dime. Turnover. Here comes Eric Bridgeland. Bridgeland. Here comes the Wesmen.
Ooh.
He is collared by Jeff Foreman. Referee will help Bridgeland up. Bridgeland isn't pleased, and rightly so. He was handcuffed.
And Coach Suffield and Coach Scott for the Bisons want an intentional foul call on this. And really, I think they have an argument as we get a chance to see Jeff Foreman reaching in and hitting Eric Bridgeland across the back of the neck.
Suffield not pleased with the call. Bridgeland at the line.
To Bridgeland's credit, he kept his cool once he got up off the floor, and he's going to be able to go to the foul line now and concentrate and make sure he makes these foul shots.
You're
what
right,
happens
Don.
if it is an intentional foul, it's 2 shots and the ball at center, so there's a heavy penalty, and that's a critical call at this part of the ball game.
Bill Wedlake pulls Jeff Foreman out of the ball game.
Not such a bad move. Jan Kreitzer, by the way, who made that call, he's been around for a long time as a player, and this is his, basically his first year refereeing college men's. And by the way, he's getting married in February, and we have to say the folks out in Russell at Jan and Holly, he promised they're going to be watching this game at the Russell Inn this afternoon.
All right.
So hi to all the folks out in Russell from Jan Kreitzer.
Rebound, Bisons. Kalinowski. You made a good point earlier, Don. Eric Bridgeland did a good job of keeping his composure intact. Didn't retaliate, didn't get too upset.
Well, he's only going to get better. That's all we can say. I mean, the kid is an amazing talent. That's all there is to it.
12:49 left to play in the ball game. 61-53. Wesmen on top. Bert Taves to Matheson.
Fatigue becomes a factor because Bert Taves has only been off the floor once, and that was early in the first half. I just wonder if this guy is indestructible because he continues just to move and go and go and go. He's a dynamo. But however, it is hot in the Bison East today, and fatigue could play a factor, and because this game is going to be close right to the end.
Garth Thompson not too sure about the call. He'll take up his position.
And that's one of the strategies that Coach Suffield uses. As you see the pass inside, Wandowich to Ron Lutzer, and he gets a commitment by Mark Kalinowski and a foul.
Boy, you talk about shutting the door. Lutzer with nowhere to go. Ron Lutzer, not the tallest guy out on the floor. They've got him marked down as a 6', 2" second-year guard.
Kalinowski is very aggressive, and that's Ron Lutzer used that to his advantage to get Kalinowski to commit to the air that time defensively. But what I was going to say before we were interrupted by a replay, that Coach Suffield likes to use a lot of subs in the first 15 minutes of the ball game and keep his starters fresh for the last 5 minutes.
Speaking of subs, Paul Bryant is back in the ball game. And this is Bryant with the ball, and he cleans the glass for 2.
That's called creating a little room to shoot. And Paul Bryant does that as well as anybody.
So Coach Suffield hoping that Bryant will make a difference. Lutzer pulls it up. No. Rebound. Bisons. This is Kalinowski with a chance to pull the Herd to within 4.
Garth Thompson doing a good job coming in off the bench with some good passes and good rebounding.
The three-point shot doesn't go, and the Westmen will come away with it. Matheson with a clean rebound.
Not the best of shot selection that time. When you're within 4, you want to come down and you want to make sure you run a play to get a good basket and a good score to get back within 2.
The Bison East Gym coming alive with chance of defense. Taves off the rim. Rebound, Lutzer for 3. Off the rim. Rebound, Westman foul on the play. It'll be a Bison ball.
You betcha. Larry Wandowich got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and he gets a foul on the rebound. And Bill Woodlake, as you see, indicating timeout Winnipeg.
Things are heating up at the Bison East.
Imagine, less than 2 hours from Winnipeg and Grand Forks, you will find a skier's dream. Holiday Mountain, now open 7 days a week with accommodations and facilities for the whole family. There's qualified ski instructors, a new 500-set rental shop with Solomon boots and bindings, snowmaking machines for powdered skiing, and a chairlift and 2 T-bars that'll whisk you to the top where 10 professionally groomed runs are waiting. Afterwards, there's après-ski or relax in your own chalet. Holiday Mountain, Highway 3, La Riviere, Manitoba.
Joe Montana, a force to be reckoned with.
Touchdown.
The defending Super Bowl champion 49ers, they're going to New Orleans. John Elway, he's got a score to settle.
The middle wide open is Winder. Sammy Winder. All the way, touchdown.
The Denver Broncos, New Orleans bound, Super Bowl 24. Turn to us, CKND, your Super Bowl station.
That means finishing some screens, starting with the secondary break, which is not happening.
Thanks to Total Beverage Services, the U of M, and all our other corporate sponsors tonight.
You understand? We got to get some
behind here right now, so let's just keep it up and play tough now. Lots of boards now. Come on. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, defense. Keep on.
Both coaches, Ron trying
Well, as you heard, both coaches encouraging both clubs, and rightly so. Only 6 points separate these two teams, 61-55. The Westmen leading the Bisons, 11:25 is the time remaining on the clock, so there's lots of time. Still anything can happen, and probably will, Don. This is Paul Bryant.
And we'll have to ask Coach Rick Suffield why he sat out Paul Bryant at the start of the second half. But Paul Bryant is fresh, and he's coming in and doing his job again offensively.
Well, we're not sure. We think we have been having some audio problems. And if we have, we apologize. If we haven't, we'll ignore it. Paul Bryant at the line, as we mentioned, 12 points in the first half. He was cooling his heels for the first 5-6 minutes of the second half, but he's back in the ball game. Misses his free throw.
And Garth Thompson's going to pick up a loose ball foul. And the Westmen will get it out of bounds.
Bill Whitlake looking on. Westman. Nick Jansen inbounding the ball. Bert Taves. Back to Jansen. Anderson puts it to Taves. Taves head to Wandowich.
Bison's trying to pick up the pace a bit again with their full court pressure, and I think that's designed more than anything to try and tire out Bert Taves.
Not working too well at this point, though. The Westmen doing a good job of moving the ball around. They get it to the open man. Nick Jansen for 2, 63-57 Westmen.
Good strong jump shot that time by Nick Jansen.
Bryant saved by Eric Bridgeland. Bridgeland moves, pulls up, short.
Partially blocked that time, Ron, by Bert Taves, doing an excellent job on defense.
Wondowich to Anderson. Anderson back to Taves. Wondowich underneath. Anderson with the jumper off the glass. High off the glass.
I think Scott Anderson might have been a little lucky to make that shot. He kind of got it up front, decided he was going to get blocked, pulled it behind his ear, and it went in off the board.
Bridgeland's three-point attempt is shy. Bert Taves down court. Foul called.
And that's the kind of foul you don't want as a coach, because that stopped Bert Taves from getting a layup that time. And we'll shoot a bonus. Winnipeg already in the bonus.
Bill Whitlake will wipe the beads of sweat from his forehead. He's happy with that call. Bridgeland with his third foul. Bert Taves leading all scorers with 22 points. He had 12 in the first half.
And you don't see Bert Taves very often miss those ones. And it's important right now with Winnipeg in the bonus that they do make their foul shots. Great pass inside. Garth Thompson on the roll. Bison's doing a good job of finding their open men down low.
.65-59 is the score. Wesmen on top. 9:32 is the time remaining. Bill Whitlake keeping an eye on the clock, hoping his team can win their first of the GPAC season.
And a little bit of a surprise move. Graham Fraser coming to the game for the Bisons, giving Eric Bridgeland a rest. The reason being they want Eric fresh for the last 6-7 minutes of this ball game. And that's why they got Greg Philman in there to control the ball.
The ooh from the herd supporters in the crowd. And there it is one more time. 65-61. The Bisons are 4 points behind the Wesmen. 9.5 minutes left to go. Ron Lutzer falls off his foot and out.
Good defense that time by Graham Fraser, and that's a bonus. And Bill Whitlake wants a timeout.
Stay with us. CK&E Game of the Week will return after this timeout.
Flowers by Academy Florists.
They call it the disease in disguise. It can affect almost any organ in the body. Lupus. Thousands of Canadians know they have it. Many others have it without even knowing it. Hi, I'm Carolyn Waldo for Lupus Canada. Lupus may be hard to diagnose, but knowing you have it is half the battle. Lupus can be controlled and treated. People with lupus can lead full and active lives. For more information, please call or write toll-free 1-800-661-1468, P.O. Box 3302, Station B, Calgary, Alberta, T2M 4L8.
It's 65-61, a 4-point ball game. Wesmen continuing to lead, however, as they have for the majority of this ball game. I'm wondering if they've trailed at any point. Bert Taves, I'm pretty sure, opened the scoring, if memory serves me correct, and they've led from this point on.
I think you got a pretty good memory, Ron. It's interesting what Winnipeg has done. They put Ron Lutzer in the game to bring the ball up, free Bert Taves to try and post Eric Bridgeland down low to get more offense, and a little bit of a rest offensively for Bert Taves.
Number 20 in white is Graham Fraser. First time we've seen him this year. First time we're seeing him today as well.
And travel violation that time, and Coach Suffield does not like to see an unforced turnover when his team is down 4 points in such a critical ball game. He just can't afford to turn the ball over.
As we talked about earlier, though, it was Bill Whitlake complaining about his club's percentage of unforced errors. A little too high for his liking last week against the Brandon Bobcats. What a heartbreaker last week. Game 2 on Saturday, losing by 2 in Brandon. Is there parity in GPAC?
You bet there is. I'll tell you what, we talked about it before the game. Each team, 4 teams could be 6-6. It could be a home-and-home series, no doubt about it, Ron.
Wouldn't that be something?
Pretty exciting.
Make for some good basketball on the home courts of GPAC, that's for darn sure.
Well, yeah, the beautiful thing about it is that when the fans come out, there's not going to be any blowouts, and they're going to be tightly contested, very intense games all the way through.
Keon Filowich is at the line for the Herd. That's his 11th point of the ball game. First of this second half. And there's his second. He's 2 for 2 at the line. The Bisons within 1 basket of tying this ball game up.
And Coach Suffield of the Bisons up cheerleading, getting his Bisons to play some tough defense.
It's the closest they've been in quite some time. Closest they've been in the second half anyway. Bondowich hoping to pull the Wesmen 4 points up again. And the basket will count. Guess who? Burke Taves. Suffield can't believe it.
And that's what the Wesmen have been working towards. They're posting up whoever is checking Burke Taves. Actually, Graham Fraser, up until that point, had been doing an excellent job defensively in the last minute of play. You see Burke Taves trying to jockey for position, and that's just, if you, an offensive player, what Burke Taves, see, Graham Fraser is trying to front here, but Burke Taves moves so well on offense that it's almost impossible to stop him. And that's how he gets open for that three-pointer. He just does such a good job of moving without the ball.
While we were looking at the replay, Burke Taves completed the three-point play. 68-63. So just like that, the Bisons are down by 5. Keon Filowich in the corner, back out to Greg Philman. Philman moves inside, a lot of traffic, gets it out to Bryant. Bryant heads outside, watched by Taves, all the way back to Philman. 1 second left on the shot clock. Just gets it off. Rebound. Fresh clock. Graham Fraser. Philman. Back out to Fraser. Paul Bryant. Greg Philman moving in. Doesn't get the shot off because you might have been able to hear Eisen coach Rick Suffield hollering for a timeout. He gets it, so we're going to have to take another break, but don't go away. We'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm here to tell you...
We're here to tell you...
about the huge selection of cars here in Steinbach.
We have 2-door...
and 4-door cars.
2-wheel drive.
And 4-wheel drives.
Front-wheel drive.
And rear-wheel drives.
We have cars for everybody and every budget.
Economy, luxury, performance, cars and trucks.
At Steinbach, we're many car dealers with thousands of cars and trucks to choose from.
Visit the Steinbach Auto Dealers because our selection always makes it worth the trip.
Some people will do whatever it takes to catch the Daily Deal winning results, Monday through Saturday night, only on CKND First News at 10:30.
Super Bowl Sunday. The 49ers and the Broncos coming up Sunday. That's Sunday, January 28th. Pre-game show here on CKND, 2 o'clock, the kickoff from the Superdome in New Orleans, slated for 4.
Where's your money, Ron?
I don't have any money.
Okay. Who do you think's gonna win? You're a sports expert, aren't you?
Yeah, and I can't be biased, so I'll just say I hope for an excellent ball game. I tell you one thing, though. Year after year, the last couple years anyway, the Super Bowl has a big football championship to live up to, and that's the Grey Cup game.
You betcha. 30-second violation that time. The Bisons don't get a shot, and that's got to be a little bit frustrating. Well, we're taking a timeout. We're kind of analyzing and talking to you about substitutions and the key role that they're playing in this ball game. It's especially hot in here, and Suffield has been rotating his players and trying to keep Philman and Paul Bryant fresh for the end of the game. Dave Philman came back into the game after that timeout, and he's leading all Bison scorers in this half.
And it's Philman coming down with the defensive rebound.
Speaking of subs, and we got Eric Bridgeland coming back in with probably 6.5 to go.
Philman all the way across on the left side for Fraser. Bounce pass to Bryant. He'll dish it off to Greg Philman. Philman driving, reaching, doesn't go. Here comes Burke Taves. Quick transition, 2-on-1 behind the back. No!
Whoa, I hope we get to see that one again. Burke Taves putting on the circus act. And Paul Bryant picking up a foul as John Matheson goes to the basket.
Suffield up on his feet once again. He'll sit down. As you can see, he was the CIAU Coach of the Year in his 85-86 season. He's enjoyed a lot of success with his Bison program.
Both coaches, besides being excellent coaches of basketball, are excellent promoters. They do all they can to get people in their building and promote the game of basketball. And they've done a really good job at both universities.
Matheson misses his first free throw.
And that is unusual, an 83% free throw shooter, John Matheson. You know, as a defensive player, once Burke Taves committed himself in the air on that behind-the-back pass, if I'm back on the 2-on-1, I immediately go to a passing lane and try and deny that. So a little bit mistake defensively that time by the Bisons cost him.
14 points for John Matheson. 6:23 left to play. It's 69-65.
And that was Paul Bryant doing what he does best, wheeling and dealing inside for the Bisons that time.
Filowich all over his man. Matheson.
That's a good word, all over. I like that one because that's what's happening out there right now. If you're just watching the ball right now, you're missing a lot of play because there is a lot of jockeying for position inside as both teams try to post up down low. A lot of banging out there, but a good, clean basketball game. Excellent, excellent game. Let's face it, like basketball long ago dispelled the false fact that it was a non-contact game, especially played at this level. It is a very, very physical game.
John Matheson just walking back into your picture. He walked out in total disgust. He missed his first free throw, 69-65. 0 for 2 this time around, but he gets the ball back. He'll move up. He'll move in. Oh, the whistle had blown, but if it hadn't, it would have been an outstanding stuff by number 44, Keon Filowich.
Yes, and that's right. It was not goaltending, and Keon Filowich, even though there was a foul call, did save a possible basket that time inside.
Whose arm was that? Greg Philman with his first foul of the ball game. Matheson will try his luck from the line.
And he's missed the last 3, and that's totally uncharacteristic. He is disgusted. And in this kind of a ball game, you need to make those free throws.
Getting colder. Crowd getting on his back now.
He's got that. No, he doesn't.
Bridgeland comes down with it. Matheson can't believe it.
And that's got to shake your confidence a little bit.
Eric Bridgeland hoping to turn things around for the Herd. Greg Philman back to Bryant. Top of the three-point line. Bryant. Herd moving the ball around. Lucky break. Philman got it back. Bridgeland bounce pass off the foot of one of the Wesmen. It was John Matheson, and it'll be Bison ball. 6 seconds left on the shot clock for the Herd.
And if the Bisons are going to do it, Coach Suffield has the lineup in here that he wants, I believe.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Bridgeland back out to Philman. No, rebound, Keon Filowich. It's rough down underneath.
Boy, Keon Filowich just did an unbelievable job of holding off a Wesmen player in order to get that rebound down. The only mistake he made was bringing the ball down too low. When you bring it down low as a big guy, it's always those guards that try to come in and strip it from you. Keon Filowich stands 6'6", and he's done an excellent job on the boards today.
Bridgeland. Bryant. Kalinowski.
Wesmen remain in that 2-3 zone, and it's been effective, Ron.
15 seconds left on the shot clock. Bison's moving it around well, but they're way outside. There we go inside. David Philman. Yes! Count it!
Great shot of Burke Taves, kind of looking, whoops. as the Bisons get within 2. I better retract what I said about that 2-3 zone. Actually, they're playing a 1-3-1, and I'm sure I'll hear from Coach Wedlake if I don't straighten that factor out.
That's Burke Taves' 3rd personal. Here's a look at it. Keep your eye on number 10.
Good pass by Paul Bryant. Feathers it into Dave Philman, and the foul from behind. I think you could give it to either of 2 players on that one. David Philman completes the 3-point play.
Bisons within 1, 69-68. Philman with 18 points. Once again, the Bison East Gym comes alive. The Bison players are on their feet, and they turn the ball around, and Wedlake says, that's enough. Let's settle this one down. Don't go away.
Warehouse Madness is on now at Kernhill Furniture Co-op until we sell $250,000 worth of top quality home furnishings. We'll pay your interest charges for 1 year. This applies to in-stock merchandise only. No special orders, and when sale ends or stock runs out, that's it. During Warehouse Madness, Kernhill Furniture Co-op will pay your interest charges for 1 year. So come on down to 843 Main Street.
Hey, John Bonk.
Stanley, what are you doing here?
John, I'll tell you what, I'm warming up for the first annual Child Find Challenge. It's a ski-a-thon for the whole family.
No kidding,
It's
huh?
right here at the Windsor Park Golf Course, Sunday, January 28th. Register at 11, ski from 1 until 4.
Stan.
Lots of fun.
Stan,
Here. Yeah, John.
guess what?
What's that?
I'm the honorary chairman.
Yeah, I knew that.
And you know, Stan, it's going to be a lot of fun. So join the winning effort and pick up your pledge sheet today. Remember, a missing child is everyone's responsibility.
Welcome back to the Bison East Gym. Ron Kuipers along with Don Lamont, the Rocket. And we have ourselves a hot ball game.
And as a player, these are the kind of games you work all year for. Down, this is crunch time with 4:51 to go.
Kalinowski for 3. Swish!
And that is the first Bison lead of the basketball game.
And those are Kalinowski's only points of this ball game. And it couldn't have come at a better time. Foul called against the Herd. They lead 71-69.
Keon Filowich that time gets Wesman player on the arm. And Scott Anderson's going to go to the foul line. Little drop step, baseline, head fake. Here he goes. Little pump fake, and you see Keon reaches in and commits the foul.
The Wesmen are having one heck of a time at the foul line in the second half.
It almost feels like, I should say, it almost looks like they're feeling a little pressure. Scott Anderson, a 70% foul shooter for the year.
1 for 2, 71-70. Bisons on top. Eric Bridgeland barking out instructions. He'll move away from Taves. Taves leading the Wesmen in scoring with 25 points, 13 in the second half. Paul Bryant.
Boy, he takes some of the toughest shots I have ever seen and makes them. He plays extremely well under pressure.
73-70, Bisons, Burke Taves, watched by Bridgeland. Lutzer, underneath, Anderson. David Philman says, no way. So does Keon Filowich.
Oh, yes. We'll have another chance to see this as Scott Anderson holds it. David Philman off. Little pump fake. Gets somebody in the air. Looks pretty good from this angle. What do you think, Ron?
No comment.
I think if anybody got him, Keon Filowich might have got him early, but certainly Dave Philman was right on the ball. Well, Anderson. Scott Anderson's not going to complain. He's going to go to the foul line and take advantage of it.
Filowich picking up his third personal. David Philman to Kalinowski. David Philman, by the way, leading the Herd with 18 points.
Art Kalinowski did a really smart thing right there. He got the ball in the hands of Paul Bryant. The fourth-year Bison is the guy you want to have in control at this stage of the game.
Bryant stops. Had some room, but he couldn't complete the play.
Nice pump fake that time by the big guy, the Bear, and it just rolls over the top of the rim.
Time remaining, 3 minutes, 18 seconds and counting. Bisons hanging on to a 1-point lead. Offensive foul against Ron Lutzer, and the Bison bench comes alive.
Well, there wasn't too much doubt about that foul. As he pushed off, Ron Lutzer pushes off. It's an offensive foul. The Bisons will get the ball side out of bounds. We haven't had any of those fouls from beyond the three-point line in this game, Ron.
No, that's true. A lot of work underneath, though. Bison ball.
That's right. Both teams have been trying to push the ball inside in this game and been relatively effective doing it. The only problem with the Wesmen is that they haven't been able to make their foul shots and allowed the Bisons to get right back in there. In fact, the Bisons lead by 1.
Kalinowski. David Philman looking for some room.
That's 2 in a row for the Bisons that have had a look and gone in and then out again.
A collective groan from the crowd here at the Bison East. The ball was in, and just as soon as it was in, it was right back out again. Wesmen, Lutzer driving, runs into Bridgeland.
And that's his second offensive foul. If I was Coach Wedlake, I would take Ron Lutzer out of the game right now. You hate to do it to a player, but when a couple mistakes like that, you have to. And you want Burke Taves to have the ball at this stage of the game. And Burke hasn't seen the ball for a while.
You know, we talk about Burke Taves and his offensive prowess in this ball game, but he's also done a good job defensively because he has won the battle between himself and Eric Bridgeland.
No doubt about it. He's done a tremendous job defensively.
3-point. Doesn't
There's
go.
a rebound, Burke Taves.
He can't keep the ball in, though, to the delight of the crowd. Burke Taves has been a workhorse for Bill Wedlake. Burke Taves with 25 points. Eric Bridgeland with 6. So the numbers speak for themselves.
The one good thing that Eric's doing right now, he's recognizing he hasn't had a hot hand offensively, so he's making sure he gets the ball to the open player, which again shows a lot of maturity. Talk about Burke Taves, though. This guy is an exciting player. My wife, who doesn't watch that much basketball, loves to come out and watch the Wesmen play because Burke Taves is such an exciting player.
Is that right?
You bet. And that's what college basketball is all about. It, you know, entertain the fans. So we get a lot of people in a building like we do today.
And we hope you at home are enjoying this afternoon's Game of the Week telecast as well. Our second week in a row from the Bison East Gym, and for the second week in a row, we lucked out. We've got ourselves a dandy. Bisons lead by 2. Bryant at the line to make it a 3-point lead.
There's going to be very few bad GPAC games this season.
Yeah, you're right, Don, and that not only comes from you, but that comes from the coaches and the players in GPAC as well, at least the ones we've talked to. 2 minutes, under 2 minutes to play.
Eric Bridgeland that time whistled down for holding Burke Taves, and both coaches up that time pleading the case. And that's Eric Bridgeland's 4th foul.
It comes at 1 minute, 58 seconds left to play in the second half. Taves is at the line.
Again, the Wesmen inability to hit from the foul line is costing them dearly. Timeout. Paul Bryant goes over to referee Dave Murphy and makes sure he hears and whispers in his ear, timeout.
Bisons lead by 3. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Portions of today's CK&E Game of the Week telecast is brought to you in part by Husky Oil and its dealers throughout Western Canada.
Welcome to Farm Film's Celebrity Blow-Up. Boy, we got a real good show for you today.
Yeah, a real good show. With a real good guest, too.
Yeah, he's real good. Now, he's a singer and he's a songwriter, and his name is Neil Sedaka. Will you shut up about my voice being high?
Now it's even higher yet, like a girl.
Get your voice up high.
Higher.
We were blowing up.
Load up real
Weeknights at 11:30. Burtnick, the Big O, Vic Peters, Don Spriggs. Some of the big names you'll see in this year's Manitoba Labatt Tanker Championship, February 8th through the 11th at the Winnipeg Arena. 32 of this province's best curling teams will compete for a spot in the Brier. Special 4-day tankard passes are now on sale at your local curling clubs. Individual tickets can be purchased at select-a-seat locations. Plan on being in the house for the Labatt Tanker Championship.
Don't forget, CKND has exclusive coverage, live coverage of the Manitoba Labatt Tankard. It starts February the 8th, and it runs through to the 11th. And it's only here on good-looking CKND.
In that timeout, both coaches making sure their team understand that there's a minute 52 to go. It's a three-point ball game. The Wesmen have to try and play good defense, not allow the Bisons to score, and there's lots and lots of time.
Paul Bryant leading the Bisons with 22 points. Mark Kalinowski, number 22. Foul.
A little bit of a mismatch right there, speed-wise. Kalinowski against John Matheson. John Matheson used to checking a little slower and larger player than Mark Kalinowski. I'll say one thing about this kid. He is not afraid to take the tough shot or go to the hoop. As you see, he gives a little head and shoulder fake, and he's got John Matheson back on his heels. And I'll tell you, anytime you can do that, you're in awful big trouble as a defensive player.
And don't forget, coming up after this ball game, Don Lamont will make his selection for the Husky Oil Player of the Game.
Mark Kalinowski shooting 90% from the free throw line. Pretty impressive statistics.
Bisons lead by 5.
Probably a good reason why he's in the ball game right now. And you know the Wesmen are going to rely on this guy.
Scott Anderson, it's pressure time, 1:30. The time remaining on the game clock.
Dave Philman gets a hand on that partial hook shot attempt by Charles Sabarin. Great defense that time by the Bison.
Kalinowski rushes the ball down court, but then he stops, sets things up. Time is of the essence right now for both clubs. Bisons with possession. 12 seconds on the shot. Rebound, David Philman. He's fouled.
Mark Kalinowski got a little bit lucky that time because Dave Philman came through in the clutch with a great offensive rebound.
Chuck Sabarin picking up his 4th personal.
John Matheson that time laying off Kalinowski, make him take that shot. However, Scott Anderson, you see his head in disgust, did not block out Dave Philman.
Timeout called. 1:09 is the time remaining.
And you can see both coaches frantically going over last-minute strategy. Bill Wedlake with his team down 5 points. You're going to have to see some full-court pressure if the Wesmen score.
Quite a turn of events for Bill Wedlake. He's had the pleasure of sitting on top of a lead, not a big one, mind you, but it's been a lead nonetheless for the majority, for 90% of this ball game. But in the final 3 minutes or so, the Bisons have taken control. They lead 77-72. They're looking to go 3-0 on this young GPAC season. They're coming off 2 straight victories against Regina last weekend.
Well, there's a lot of ifs in any game, in any sport, but if the Wesmen would have made even 50% of their foul shots, this game would be tied.
David Philman, 1 for 1 at the line. Paul Bryant goes up, brings the mesh back down. The crowd
goes
with its
crazy.
approval. Good offensive rebound. Foul.
And the foul, Wesmen not wanting that clock to run down anymore, and Coach Wedlake a little upset for the Wesmen about allowing the Bisons to come back down with that rebound. And Keon Filowich has just been doing a super job on the glass all day long.
David Philman, who was just at the line, 1 for 2. He has 13 second-half points, 19 game total.
He has become a mainstay of this Bison team in tandem with David Philman.
Bilowich, 2 for 2. He has 4 points in the second half. Bisons lead it 80-72 with 1 minute left to play. In the second half, Burke Taves being watched by Bridgeland. Anderson off the glass.
Tough shot that time. And timeout, I believe, called by the Wesmen.
Rick Suffield's Manitoba Bisons ball club leading by 6 points. You know, I was just thinking, we've been praising Burke Taves all game. Tough ball game for Eric Bridgeland, but you know, when it comes down to it, if the Bisons pull out the victory, who cares about the matchup?
Well, what happens, that's right, what happens is the Bisons played a good team ball game. And when they shut down Burke Taves, they weren't as effective.
First man, corner. Second man, corner. Third man, down. Fourth man in. When we get the ball, we bring it and we spread and we use the clock, okay? They're going to foul us right now, okay?
Once we get it in, you guys
spread out and move it. Don't turn it over now. Let's go. Let's go.
The Bison coaching staff just emphasizing their out-of-bounds play, because if the Bisons do not turn it over as the ball comes in, the Wesmen will commit a foul.
Speaking of football, Super Bowl Sunday coming up Sunday, January 28th. It's live right here on CKND, your Super Bowl station.
The Wesmen putting Jeff Foreman on the inbounds pass, their biggest player.
Bisons, Eric Bridgeland. Burke Taves coming from out of nowhere.
Wasn't that an unbelievable block? I don't know about you, but I thought there was got to be some kind of collision and foul there. Unbelievable body control. Look at this. Both players going at full speed, and Burke Taves just incredible anticipation.
Wow. And he still has a lot of energy left. There's only 41 seconds left to play. What, did he cool his heels for 2 minutes?
Well, never mind that, but that's such a critical play because the Bisons turn it over, and it's only a 6-point ball game. That's 2 3-point baskets, and Wesmen still got 2 possessions.
Burke Taves puts it back outside. John Matheson, they'll have to hurry. Taves hoping for the foul, gets his own rebound, still doesn't go. Tough work, Matheson is hooked.
That's a good term, hooked all right. Bodies flying everywhere. A little hard to see right now with the Bison coaching staff and bench standing on their feet, but I'm sure we got a foul in there somewhere, and David Philman being attended to on the floor.
Bridgeland with his 5th foul of the ball game. And he will cool his heels. In the meantime, they're taking a close look at the left leg of David Philman.
Looks like he might have gone over on that ankle, Ron, and the therapist from the trainer from Manitoba taking a close look at it. This will give Winnipeg a little chance to regroup and decide what they're going to do after they make the foul shots.
In the meantime, there's a conference at the timers table. Bill Wedlake and the referees.
I think they just want to discuss about how much time is actually left off the clock. I think the contention was that they lost a second or two after the whistle was blown. So in this case, in the 3-man system, you make sure that you have one official that keeps his eye strictly on the clock and make sure it starts and stops at the right time. Very important.
David Philman is up and on his feet, and he'll take a round of applause as he comes out of the ball game. Just a reminder that, you know, regardless of the outcome of this ball game, tonight's rematch will be a ring-a-ding-dong-dandy, and it'll come to you from the Athletic Center. Game time is 8 o'clock. The women, before the game, the Bisons and the Lady Wesmen, and that game will start at 6:15. Should be a good night over at the University of Winnipeg.
And it was a real rock'em sock'em game today, earlier in women's basketball. Jeff Foreman, unbelievable. The rookie makes the first of 2 and then gets his own rebound on the missed shot, puts it in, gets fouled, and we got ourselves a ball game right down to the last second.
19 seconds is the time remaining on the clock. The Bisons lead by 3. It's 80-77. Now, when the whistle was blown, Bill Wedlake, the coach of the Wesmen, was over at the scorer's table, and he was upset.
He was trying to get a timeout right after the basket was through.
I want you passing the ball in, okay? No.
How many timeouts?
Okay. We've got 1, but let's get the ball in and move it down the court and spread.
Don't cut until I got the ball in.
Okay, he's got the ball in, that's not cut, okay? Only this time we're going to fool him a bit here, okay?
Bill Wedlake, as I was telling you about, was mad because I think he thought there should have been at least 1, maybe 2 seconds. I think he thought the timekeeper was slow in shutting down the clock. He wasn't too pleased anyway. He gave him a bit of a look.
And Bill Wedlake wants to make sure he stays on top of that because every second right now is critical in this ball game. As far as from a referee standpoint in the timetable, you are, as a scorekeeper, you are allowed a 1 second human error. So if there's 2 seconds that goes off the clock after the whistle blows, then you can put 1 second back on. Jeff Foreman again on the ball.
Again, 19 seconds left to go. Man open down court for the Herd. In the meantime, Paul Bryant draws the foul, as we knew he would.
3-point ball game, 17 seconds to go. West discussing strategy. Sorry, Ron.
I was just going to say Jason Friesen picking up the foul. Jeff Foreman, check that. Foreman with the foul. Bryant at the line.
And he'll come out right now because they want to get another guard in the offense, a little bit more quickness and a little bit more scoring power. So Ron Lucer comes in.
Wesmen come away with it. They trail by 3 with 13 seconds. This is Burke Taves moving inside through traffic. He's rejected. Here's a 3-point attempt. Off the rim. Rebound Taves. Yes!
1-point ball game, 2 seconds. This is it. The Bisons are going to win. That's it. Wow, what a finish. Woo!
Rick Suffield shaking his head. Bill Wedlake and his Wesmen can't believe it. Fans applauding the efforts of both clubs. An outstanding ball game for both clubs. 80-79 is the final. Bert Taves with a chance to tie it up, but he went inside.
You know, the only thing they did wrong with that, with only 3 or 4 seconds to go, you have to take a 3-point attempt. You have to be able to tie the game because what happens is all the Bisons had to do was hold the ball out of bounds and run out the time.
There's a look at your final, and there's a look at the winning head coach. He's 3-0 on the season. We'll be back to wrap things up. Stay with us.